Welcome to the Source to Pay Introduction Training. Have you ever needed to order lab supplies for your research team, provide materials for a creative workshop, or maybe arrange professional services for an upcoming project? These are just a few of the many reasons why you might need to create a purchase order at Sanofi. We have implemented standard workflows to make sure that purchases of any kind follow a clear process. The following series of videos will walk you through every step, making sure to highlight what is expected of you during each phase. But first, here's a quick overview. The source to pay process is composed of the 5 following steps. First, you consult the buying hub, which will provide guidance on preferred suppliers, buying channels, contract needs, and whether a purchase order is necessary for your purchase. Then you can create your purchase requisition by going to Coupa, adding items to your cart, and checking out. This will create an official request for your purchase. The next step is PR approval. The purchase requisition will go through proper approval workflows. Once approved, the PR is automatically turned into a purchase order, which is sent to the supplier. Then, you receive your order and need to perform a goods or services receipt in Coupa to confirm reception of the elements you ordered. Finally, the invoice can be processed and the suppliers can be paid. In case of discrepancies, you will need to review and approve the invoice. Some purchases require a contract, which adds an extra step to the automated workflow before the purchase order is generated. Each of us plays a vital role in making this process work effectively. It is everyone's job to understand and follow this process correctly today, in order to avoid problems in the future. When everyone works together to follow the proper guidelines, it results in fewer delays and payment errors, and less time spent on problem fixing. Following these steps helps Sanofi maintain financial controls, ensures supplier compliance, and improves resource management, which ultimately supports our mission of improving patients' lives. Remember, behind every purchase is a patient. By the end of this training, you'll have full knowledge of your roles and responsibilities during this process, and be aware of the good buying practices to follow along the way. For any hesitation or question you may have, you can always consult One Support to find articles related to the procurement process, or you can use Concierge and ask specific questions. Let's get started. This video is about guiding you through how to properly set up your purchase by consulting the buying hub, which is the first step in the source to pay process. Let's start with the basics. What is the buying hub? The buying hub is where you start your procurement journey. It is a centralized platform designed to guide your purchasing decisions at Sanofi, and should be your first stop whenever you need to make a purchase. The golden rule of procurement is, check the buying hub first and create your purchase requisition second. As a requester, there are 4 things you must do in the buying hub. Identify the right category for your purchase, find preferred suppliers, check whether a contract is required for your purchase, and determine the appropriate buying channel for your needs. Number 1. Identifying the right buying category. There are many different buying categories to choose from, each including their own subcategories. Selecting the correct category will allow you to find your item quickly and provide you with detailed instructions on how to proceed with your purchase. This includes information about whether you need a purchase order to proceed. Number 2, finding preferred suppliers. Once you've selected your item, the buying hub lists the preferred suppliers to use for that item. They're carefully selected partners who have already been vetted for quality and reliability, offer pre-negotiated prices that save Sanofi money, and provide faster delivery and better service. Preferred suppliers are your fastest path to getting you what you need, so make sure to always check them first. If the preferred supplier does not have the desired item available in their catalog, you can contact them for a quote. Number 3, checking contract requirements. Some purchases will require a contract to be in place before any activity can begin with the supplier. The buying hub will guide you on whether a contract needs to be linked to your purchase requisition. Be attentive to contract requirements. If an existing contract is necessary and you don't link it to your request before submitting it, it will be rejected back to you until you link the correct contract. If a new contract is required for the purchase, a contract specialist will be added to the PR approval flow to create it. Contract services serves as the single entry point for all stakeholders engaged in contracting operations. Number 4, selecting a buying channel. Based on your purchase type and amount, the buying hub will provide specific sourcing information which will guide you to the appropriate buying channel or tool. Follow these recommendations as they're designed to get you the best value and fastest service. In addition, the buying hub also provides you with contact information for buyers, as well as compliance guidelines and threshold requirements. What happens if you bypass the buying hub? Choosing to opt out of using the buying hub can have negative consequences. These consequences can include missed cost optimization opportunities. You may miss out on preferred suppliers who offer competitive pricing, leading to higher costs for Sanofi. Reduced compliance. The buying hub provides sourcing instructions that comply with our procurement practices and policies, so you risk engaging in non-compliant behaviors. Inefficiency and delays. If a non-preferred supplier is chosen without checking the buying hub, the tactical sourcing team will help you convert your demand to one of our preferred suppliers, which can lead to delays in the processing times. Remember, consult the buying hub before every purchase to find the correct category, preferred suppliers, contract requirements, and the right buying channel. This video is about creating your purchase requisition in Coupa, which is the second step in the source-to-pay process. Coupa is the platform that Sanofi uses to manage its purchasing processes. It was formerly known as eBuy and serves as the central system for managing indirect purchasing activities. It is where purchase requisitions are created and approved. When a contract needs to be linked to a purchase request, the related activities are handled within the same platform. Remember that before initiating any purchasing process, you must first consult the buying hub to find the appropriate buying channels and preferred suppliers. What is a purchase requisition? A purchase requisition is a request to purchase goods or services. It's the basis for seeking internal approval before any purchase. Every purchase starts with the creation of a PR. As a requester, your role is to create these PRs in Coupa, which, when approved, will automatically be transformed into purchase orders, which are mandatory for the invoice process. What's the difference between catalog and non-catalog items? Catalog items are pre-approved items available in Coupa's catalogs. They are typically standard, frequently purchased goods or services that have been pre-negotiated with preferred suppliers. Think of pens, stationery, etc. Non-catalog items are more specialized, unique, or less frequently purchased items that aren't part of the standard catalogs. These can include market research, patient support programs, etc. Finding your item. Once you're on the Coupa homepage, follow the guidelines previously given to you by the buying hub to locate items efficiently. Depending on whether your item is in or out of catalog, the buying hub will give you specific instructions to follow to create your PR. The checkout process will lead to the creation of a purchase requisition. Creating your PR in Coupa transforms your need into an official request. The system will automatically route your PR for necessary approvals based on the amount, the category, and the delegation of authority, which is the mandatory level of authority needed for your specific purchase. Please keep in mind that if you need to order from multiple suppliers, you must create one PR per supplier. Remember, always check the buying hub and follow its instructions to select the items or services you wish to purchase. You must create a purchase requisition to get approval to make a purchase. You can create PRs for catalog and non-catalog items. When ordering from multiple suppliers, you must create one PR per supplier. And finally, once approved, PRs automatically lead to the creation of purchase orders. This video is about transforming purchase requisitions into purchase orders, which is the third step in the source-to-pay process. As explained in the previous video, creating your PR in Coupa transforms your need into an official request. The system will automatically route your PR for necessary approvals. The PR approval workflow depends on several factors, which include the type of purchase, catalog versus non-catalog, the purchase amount, the delegation of authority levels, and the commodity type, as some require special approvals. If the purchase requires a new contract and none previously existed, the PR will automatically be routed to the Contract Lifecycle Management module of Coupa. This is where the contract specialist will create a new contract to assign to the PR. If an existing contract is required and the requester does not include it in the PR, then the CS will reject it back to the requester, who must resubmit their PR with the correct contract. Contracts set an agreed maximum spend, which puts a limit to how much a requester can spend on a purchase. This additional layer of financial control is crucial in helping us respect our budgets and is important for continuous obligation management, supplier relationship management, and contract audit. Please keep in mind that all contract procedures must be done inside of Coupa. Any offline modifications are non-compliant and can cause disruptions to project timelines. Once approved by the manager with the appropriate delegation of authority, the system automatically generates a purchase order, or PO. The PO is then issued to the supplier who can process the order. What is a purchase order? A purchase order is a formal document issued by a buyer, Sanofi, to a seller, supplier, indicating types of products or services, quantities, agreed prices, and delivery information. It serves as a written purchase document to the supplier to supply goods and/or services and creates a legal commitment between Sanofi and the supplier. Sanofi operates under a strict no PO, no pay policy, which means POs are mandatory for the majority of spend categories. There are some exceptions, so make sure to consult the buying hub to get the correct information. Purchases must have a valid PO before any invoice is received. Employees must not commit to making a purchase before a PR has been raised, approved, and the associated PO is created. Be careful not to confuse a purchase requisition with a purchase order. Remember, the PR is an internal document used to request spending for a specific business need, while a PO is a formal document sent to a supplier to order goods or services after the PR has been approved. What are the benefits of purchase orders? Purchase orders are critical to Sanofi as they set clear expectations with suppliers about what items or services are needed and when, support internal budgeting by providing clear records of expenditures and accruals, allow us to match any invoices against the request to be able to pay the supplier on time. What are the consequences of not following PO requirements? If you don't create a PO for a purchase, or if the PO is created late, after invoice reception, you will be classified as a maverick offender. Maverick offenders need to justify why they did not follow the correct process. Repeated instances of non-compliance could potentially lead to formal disciplinary processes. These offenses can also cause delayed payments to suppliers and impair control over spending, affecting our budget planning. So please make sure to correctly follow the procedure and always create a purchase order when necessary. Remember, a purchase order is a legally binding document issued by Sanofi to our suppliers, which details the goods or services to provide. Once a PR is approved, the system generates a purchase order, which is sent to a supplier. Sanofi operates under a no PO, no pay policy. Non-compliance with the PO requirements will flag you as a maverick offender. This video is about confirming the reception of the goods or services, which is the fourth step in the source-to-pay process. Once you have received your order, you need to log the reception into the system by performing a goods receipt. What is a goods receipt? A goods receipt is a formal confirmation in the system that you have received goods or services that were ordered through a purchase order. They are a crucial step in invoice processing. You can perform them directly in Coupa. Why are goods receipts necessary? The goods receipt is a critical component of the three-way match principle used for invoice validation. This process compares the purchase order, the invoice, and the goods receipt for each line of the purchase order. As a requester, it is your responsibility to perform the goods receipt in Coupa upon reception of your order or service. Without a goods receipt, invoices cannot be processed for payment, which means that suppliers cannot be paid until goods receipts are created in the system, thus leading to delayed payments and potential supplier relationship issues. Additionally, good receipts help us maintain accurate inventory records. They also act as a layer of financial control by helping prevent payment for goods and services yet to be received, and by creating an audit trail. This video is about invoice approval, which is the fifth step of the source-to-pay process. As explained in the previous video, invoice validation depends on the three-way match principle, meaning that the system attempts to match the invoice with the purchase order and goods receipt. For invoices to be processed for payment, there must be no discrepancies between the information in the purchase order and the goods receipt. In other words, both the PO and the goods receipt must indicate the same price and quantity. If there is a three-way match, then invoices are typically approved automatically, without the need for human intervention. If, however, there isn't a match, then it is your responsibility as the requester to review, and then either approve or reject any discrepancies between the invoice and the PO that you raised. Please ensure that your invoice discrepancy review happens in a timely manner, or the invoice will be escalated to your line manager. This can lead to delayed payment to the supplier. If you have raised a purchase order and are expecting to be absent for a significant amount of time, you should assign a delegate so that any expected invoices can still be approved in your absence.